Guys, and welcome back for another tutorial. Today we're going to dive into the world of organization with a fun and practical project. A fabric tray to tidy up your notions and small items. This is going to be perfect when you're working on a project and you want to keep everything nice and organized. So all the information you're going to need is going to be down in the description box below, as well as any of the tools or supplies I use in my video. This is going to be a super simple project, a great beginner project. You only need medium weight interfacing and some cotton fabric. I made this tray using 2 fat quarters. So I cut my circle and I'm going to be cutting 4 square pieces of fabric that are going to measure 1/4 of an inch larger than my circle. The first thing I do is I place my 2 squares right sides together, and then I have my interfacing circle that I'm going to place onto the back of one of the pieces of fabric. I'm going to press my interfacing on, making sure that the glue side is against the wrong side of my fabric. And we're going to press it with a hot dry iron. Then I'm going to put some pins just to make sure the 2 layers of fabric stay together. Now I did make this project with only 1 piece of interfacing, but if you really want to make a more rigid tray, you can add 2 pieces of circle interfacing. So now that we place both of our circle interfacings on the 2 different fabrics, we're going to go over to the sewing machine and we're going to sew all the way around the perimeter of that circle interfacing. We're not going to leave any holes, we're just going to sew all the way around it. So just take your time and keep your needle right up against the edge of that interfacing. Now I've seen this project where people will leave a hole along the perimeter of the circle, but when you go to turn in those raw edges, then it just isn't as nice. So I really like this technique. I've used it on other projects before, but before we get to that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut off all the excess fabric. I'm using my pinking shears, and this is going to also help to notch the fabric so that when I go to turn it right sides out, it will lay nice and flat. So we're going to do that to both of our circles. Now we're going to turn it right sides out, and this is where you're probably going to cringe, but we are going to cut into the center of the piece of fabric that doesn't have interfacing onto it. Just about a 1-inch hole, large enough for you to be able to push all that fabric through. Now I know what you're thinking, but it's okay. We will never see this hole will never see the light of day ever again once this project is done. And we're going to repeat the same thing with the second circle, making a hole. I know it doesn't look good, but trust me, you need to trust the process. So now we're going to give it a really good press and make sure that it's nice and flat and beautiful. And we can start to form our tray. Now I am using a friction pen, but you can use a disappearing ink pen or some chalk. You will notice that I will be struggling with this pen as it was dying. But anyways, so what you're going to do is you're going to fold your circle in half and mark those little folds. And then I'm going to fold it into thirds. And you could just fold it the way that I am, and then those memory creases you can use as guides. Or you can also do what I'm doing, which I'm just using my chalk to mark all the fold lines. Now we're going to open up our fabric so that we can see all of our markings, and then we're going to use a ruler and we're going to measure up 2 inches from each of those markings. We're going to take it over to the sewing machine and we're going to sew up from the edge to the end of those 2-inch lines. This is going to create the little partitions on our little tray. So as you can see, there are the 2 holes. We're going to put our 2 circles together with those holes in the middle, and now they will never see the light of day again. And we're going to sew those 6, is it 6? Those lines with the 2 pieces of fabric layered together. So you'll see how it now is going to come together. And now we're going to sew, and make sure you lock off your stitches at the beginning and end. I like to start off of the fabric and then go onto it just to make sure that the beginning of the stitch is really secure, as there's going to be some stress on those stitches. So we're doing all of those lines, And then after that, we're going to take it out of the machine and we are going to draw a line from the end of each of those lines. And this is going to prevent our little notions from going up inside of the fabric tray. So we're just going to sew that, is it a hexagon? I'm so bad at that. Hexagon, octagon, hex, you tell me in the comments below. I'm pretty sure hex is 8 and octagon is 6. Wait, okay. Anyways, okay, we're back. Now we're going to take the top fabric and we're going to fold that up towards each other, as you can see. And we're going to measure about 1 inch from the stitches. And then that's where we're going to put a tacking stitch. Right now I'm just going to place a pin. We're going to do them all and then we'll sew them all at the same time. Again, you can tinker with this if you want it to be 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches. It's up to you. You can really kind of design your tray, but you get the overall idea of what we're doing here. You can see the tray is now starting to sort of form. It's almost like a flower. So some people like to do this by hand. You're welcome to use a needle and thread. But I find it's just as easy with my sewing machine, making sure that we're just going back and forth. We're locking the stitches. It's just like a tack. I just go up to the edge of the fabric there, and then that's it. So now I'm just going to go around and do all of the spots where I put a pin to finish off my tray. Now I failed to mention that I did do a top stitch on my circles after I flipped them right sides out. So you're welcome to do that as well. I don't know what happened with that clip, but hopefully you can see. It just makes it look a little bit more polished and finished off. But anyways, I think this is going to be a super fun tray. I'm super excited. I love the idea of when I'm going to make a bag, I can put all of my little bag notions in each one of the little pockets. And then I can put my zippers on the middle. Like, I'll be super organized. And then I can be like, okay, I need swivel clasp, D-rings, purse feet, labels, clip, you know what I mean? So all those things are going to be there in front of me, and I'm like, okay, I know I have all the things that I need for this bag. But you can use it for so much more stuff. Let me know in the comments down below what you might use this for. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.